How are you? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to give a like and a thumbs up right out of the gate. Don't even wait. It's going to be great. That's my new opening. What do you think? I've been, my hair's back down because I think, and this is, I know I'm tempting fates. I think I've solved most of the baseline issues of the new computer, getting it up and running. There may be a little chip chop here and there. I'm experimenting with the idea that if well, it's not important. I don't need to go into it. Some of you join me for the test of the stuff, and if you haven't caught up, I have to do a whole like behind the scenes of the Kardashian computer moment because it's fine. It just needs a little lip filler and it can pass for 22. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so needless to say, there's I mean, how in the world can you not love Infrastructure Week? I mean, there's as a running gag, it was spectacular during the Trump the recent unpleasantness that I think hold on. I'm finding some there's so many things. There's so much stuff that I'm running out of room for stuff. I'm looking at extra video things just to follow this up because, folks, I don't know if you know, it's been why are my other lights not on too? It should be. I always look over and I'm like, my green screen cutout should be a lot sharper than this, and by God, it's not, and I don't know why that is. So no, that should be better. There's so much fun. What do you do? What do you do if you're the GOP right now? It looks like the infrastructure bill is going to pass. It's going to be combined with the normal stuff that's in the budget that will be included, somewhere in the order of $1.1 to $1.5 trillion in infrastructure. Oh, look at that. Level 5 hype train right out of the gate. Thank you so much, you guys. Let me know if you guys hear the chiming noises, and if it gets annoying, I'll that's okay. All right, so what do you do? What do you do? I mean, first of all, Trump's choice in that state Senate race in Texas lost. He was bragging about it. We saw him brag about it repeatedly, and he's like, about his kingmakership and all that stuff. That is an amazing. I think that's the greatest endorsement I've ever seen. Hold on, in the chat. Oh, Joyce! Oh my God! Got my bonus money today, so sharing. Oh, thank you so much, Joyce. That's so sweet. That is, and PHKO says, I would fight a circular saw in a phone booth for you. I love you, bruh. Love you, man. Thank you. Right back at you. Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting a circular saw when it comes to Trump's arguments. But then, it's not a real circular saw. It's one of those foam bladed ones that you got with those Fisher Price kits when I couldn't afford that toy when I was a kid, but it was, everybody had a dream toy that was just out of reach when you were a kid. That was mine. There was a whole like power tools kit that was like Fisher Price stuff. There was a neighbor of mine had the pull start chainsaw. You could just pull it and it would give you it looks like a little fake chainsaw. And his parents took it away from him because he was cutting his sister with it, because of course it was sharp plastic, because, it was, before they rethought maybe we should make a Nerf blade for this goddamn thing. And so I ended up getting that. So that was I love that, but I couldn't have the rest. Oh, I'm sorry the chimes are annoying. I will solve the chimeage in the thing. Let's see. How do I make the alerts go off? Turn the mute events. I think that might do it. Turn off the chimes. Okay, I think we did it. Someone will have to look. It stopped. It worked. Stuff worked with one click. I'm gonna get too excited. I'm gonna be all right. Yes, exactly. It was the chainsaw was my only defense against lawn darts when I was a kid. So it should surprise no one that that the GOP is not handling infrastructure week particularly well. First of all, like I said, Trump's Texas choice, and then 17. Everybody was like, can we get 10 Republicans signed on to the infrastructure bill to move forward debate so that they could just get it done? Because a lot of them are in actual districts where the practicality actually has some electoral value. I know, it's nuts. 17. Everybody was expecting, like, we'll narrowly squeak by with 10. If we got 11, it'd be a miracle, right? No Chevy Nomad. Nothing like my Scoutmaster. No, thank God. I learned my lesson early. So, and thanks for the new follow. And the subscribe. Thanks, Punisher Hot Dog. Punished Hot Dog? Is that what that is? That's great. And Les, thank you. So, you got that, that fail. Then the 17 people fail. And then now Trump's all whiny and stuff. So what do you do if you're the Republican Party? What do you do? Well, you talk about the border. And you freak out about crime. And then you go and you apparently, you go and visit criminals in jail. And I do mean criminals. They are calling them detainees because they are political prisoners in their righteous fight for Trumpistan. Long live Trumpistan. The Trumpistan is dead. And in this, it should not surprise anyone. Let me stretch this out a little bit because there's more room in this. These Rumble videos are always a problem. Aren't they adorable? So this is them on the War Room. Now, they went to jail, not the kind of way we were hoping. Not yet, anyways. And they were turned away, probably for the last time. Matt Green, if of all people, I would want to, you should be avoiding jail as much as possible. Believe me, you're going to get plenty of it sometime soon. Holy hell, right? So, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene and GOP lawmakers locked out of federal jail holding January 6th protesters. By the way, this federal jail is also holding serial killers, murderers, wannabe terrorists. They'll fit right in, is what I'm saying. But the story on this, and this is Newsmax doing this. This is a Newsmax clip of this. And just the nerve of them calling these guys detainees. I mean, it's like he thinks it's first day of camp and he gets to pick his cell. I get bottom bunk. So this I need to see. And away we go.
Everyone here has their masks on. We're attempting to go inside. And currently,
all right, so there's Congressman Matt Gaetz trying to visit some of the January 6th protesters who are still...
No, there are no protesters in there. There are violent extremists who attacked police and smeared shit on the walls of the Capitol and are a flight risk. Because all the ones that attacked police and smeared shit on the walls of the Capitol and attacked our democratic process who aren't a flight risk are home with ankle bracelets on. Can we not pretend that this whole building is it's like them visiting... this is their AOC moment at the border. That's what they're trying to make this into. That they're going to go visit the unaccompanied minors who were put in, kids in cages at the federal jail. Good God, yeah. If you're Matt Gaetz, dude, don't go anywhere near a prison.
In federal custody and not being let inside.
But emphasis on the Nazi, by the way. Thanks, Greg, for that easy lift.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is with him. They won't let her inside either, as you know.
There's an ongoing investigation. These people are being held or remanded without bond, or their bond or bail is so high that they can't produce it because they're lunatics who decided to attack the Capitol, and they didn't even have the pocket cash to bail themselves out so they could, go home and attack their state capitol before being drone striked. I don't know what their goal is. I don't know what the end goal is here when you attack the U.S. government. Honest to God. So, you don't in due process in our lovely system of government. A due process does not involve you getting a congressperson to come out and bail you out.
Lots of people are still in custody. They haven't been convicted of anything. Now, a little later...
Yeah, dumb. For the record, hold on. I've got a... Is it this one? Yeah. Do you think Greg Kelly gives a rat fuck about anyone who's currently in jail awaiting trial on a violent charge anywhere else in the country? I mean, they haven't been convicted yet. I mean, obviously, his father was the police commissioner in New York, I think, and so he should know about things like time served. Maybe, you know what, Greg? Maybe they'll get lucky and they'll all get time served. They'll just tack this on. Instead of going home with an ankle bracelet on, murdering their wife or one of their their family members for snitching on them, and then getting even a longer sentence. And then then time served goes right out the window. You know what I mean?
You get inside, but they're basically turned away. Take a look.
Yes, you are. You have no reason for being there.
We're not trespassing. As members of Congress, we have oversight over federal prisons.
Yeah, the oversight you have is on a fucking committee. You don't get to just barge into jails and sneak phones in. I mean, here's the thing. I know that Marge Green and Louis Gohmert and Matt Gaetz want to get their asshole checked for drugs. I get it. Sometimes you're walking around and you're like, okay, keys, wallet, phone. Do I have a balloon of fentanyl in my ass? Oh my God. Can someone check? No one's home. Maybe there's a jail nearby.
People that vote on whether or not to fund you at what level.
So you're threatening them. Just to be clear, Louis Gohmert is threatening the staff at a federal prison as if they have any fucking say about the rules, or they arrange the visits. They've gone from like the GOP to the KOP. This is the Karen's own party. This fucko is in a federal jail asking to see the manager. With, and we don't know for sure, we'll have to ask this poor employee later on, possibly a balloon of fentanyl in his ass. We can't know. Apparently, it's a violation of HIPAA. You can't sneak phones into the prison. They're busted. She's trying to sneak a phone into the prison. I mean, I don't know why they're not in chokeholds right now.
Gosh, the government is upside down.
Can you please go ask your supervisor?
Yeah, can you please go get your supervisor? Holy shit. Representative Marge Taylor Greene from Karen, Georgia.
The entrance into this facility.
So, as you can see, they're not being welcomed.
No, it's not a welcoming place, fucko. This is not... I don't know why. Where is the cocoa? Where is it? They're not being welcomed. Dude, if you ever go to jail and feel welcomed, you are either a young like Italian guy in a remake of Goodfellas, or you've been there so many times as a criminal. People are like, holy shit, I didn't even realize you were out.
They're accused of trespassing. These are members of Congress at a federal facility.
Right. They represent districts in other states. They have oversight on a fucking panel. They don't get to kick the goddamn door in. They're not... this isn't Deputy Gohmert. He didn't get to stay a judge because he's a representative. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she couldn't pass the security check to work at this place.
They're normally treated like VIPs. Let's bring in Congressman...
They're normally treated like VIPs.
Taylor Greene, once again, Republican of Georgia.
Well, this is unfortunate. See, it's weird, but I feel like she would be welcomed in jail.
Welcome back. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, Greg. It's good to see you, too.
So...
I'm not convinced. Greg, stop for a second. I don't buy it. That didn't seem. Look at her face right now. She's kind of. She didn't sound like she's glad to see you, Greg. What happened? What went on? What knocked you out of sex guru status with Marge Trailer Green? What happened?
Look, did you call ahead? Did you make arrangements? I mean, you are a VIP, and you do.
You are a VIP. By the way, just please, this asshole is the person telling me that like the government, elected officials, people in Congress and the government, the deep state, all this, all think they're elites. And this asshole just called a rep from Georgia's 14th district. I almost called her Florida woman because, yeah. A VIP. She's a sip, dude. She's a semi-important person. And all the importance of that person right there comes from the fact that she represents a bunch of other people. She's important only due to a volume discount. She's not a VIP. She's a sip, dude.
Have oversight over these facilities, but...
And you are a simp, just to clarify.
Did you make arrangements ahead of time?
We did. We had let them know we were coming. Actually, we've been sending letters and asking questions for months now.
We called them ahead of time? When? That afternoon? What'd you do? Call the front fucking desk?
Trying to find out information about January 6th.
I have a little bit of information. It was between January 5th and 7th, and fuck you. So that's, I mean, just, if you want to get a piece of paper and a pen, maybe, write that down.
We've been asking all kinds of questions, like why the National Guard was not deployed to the Capitol on...
Son of a bitch. This is it, isn't it? This is the new VA choice situation. Hold on one second, if I may. Let's see. Christopher Miller, National Guard. This will be there. Guard, Jan 6. We'll see if it's images. I probably should. There we go. National memo. Close this. Here's why. Here, dum-dum. This is why. January 4th, 2021. Signed by the acting Secretary of Defense, Christopher Miller. This memorandum responds to your January 4th memorandum regarding the District of Columbia request for District of Columbia National Guard support in response to planned demonstrations from January 5th to 6th. You are authorized to approve the requested support subject to my guidance below and subject to consultation in this area. Hold on, can I blow this up a little? Without my subsequent personal authorization, which didn't come for hours on January 6th, by the way, the DCNG is authorized the following to be, is not authorized, beg your pardon, is not authorized to be issued the following. Weapons, ammunition, bayonets, batons, ballistic protection equipment, such as helmets and body armor. They're not allowed to interact physically with protesters, except when necessary to self-defense, but since they were moved away and not allowed even near the Capitol, that the self-defense thing doesn't come up. You know, you can't self-defend across a city. Unless, of course, you're an asshole, a good guy with a gun, firing at someone randomly and the bullet flies across town and hits someone who was just eating waffles at a street cafe, and they were, that's a form of self-defense, sure. They can't share equipment with law enforcement agencies. They can't even swipe right. To use intelligence, surveillance, or reconnaissance assets, or conduct ISR, incident awareness, and assessment activities. They can't employ helicopters or any other air assets. They can't conduct searches, seizures, arrests, or other similar direct law enforcement activity. That's why. That's why. Now, here's the problem you have, Marge. No one at that federal facility has a copy of this fucking memorandum. Nobody. It's not on file. I mean, somebody there who watches my show, and hi, I'm sure there's somebody. Hopefully they're not in a cell, but if they are, get your life together. You can do better. You're obviously, if you're up for parole, try harder. You get a degree. Not in law. It's cheap shot. Don't get your law degree in prison. That's self-interest. That's like Bill Maher's interest in pot legalization. There's no heart in it. It's just self-interest. Fucking get an engineering degree, dick. You know who I'm talking to. All right. The guy behind you. All right. So, no one at this facility, unless they watch my show and can do a freeze frame, has a copy of this fucking memorandum. Marge. Matt. Nobody. You're not going to get that answer at a federal fucking jail. Daniel Jacobs. How do you think MTG can actually read? And she doesn't decide any funding because she isn't on any panels. Exactly. But she's got oversight because technically she votes on things.
January 6th, we know for a fact that Nancy Pelosi did not deploy the National Guard.
She doesn't have the right to deploy the National Guard.
And we're trying to find out why.
They request it, the city requests it for the area.
Today, we went to the prison here in Washington, D.C. to ask questions about the people.
Why are you still knocking? She can see you. You're just being an asshole.
Being detained there because we've heard horror stories about how they're being treated.
Yeah, I have heard, and don't quote me on this. I've heard that they're being treated like every other prisoner at that facility that spits in a guard's face, says, I have COVID and I'm going to kill your family when I get out. That kind of stuff. It gets you chucked in the hole for a little while. It does.
While we were there.
Also, no one else there gets to eat organic.
It was actually reverse order. We had gone into the lobby at first, that clip that you're showing right there, and that woman, she told me that we were trespassing.
Yeah, you are. You're trespassing.
And we asked questions, Louis Gohmert, Paul Gosar, Matt Gaetz, and myself. And then we were told the supervisor was outside, and they pointed to that lady because she had walked outside. I went outside to speak with her.
And then they shut the door behind you? Ah, fucking sweet. They got you. Really, you were tricked outside? You're bragging about this.
And when I went up to talk with her, Louis Gohmert came with me.
Well, of course. Where else is he going to go? Louis Gohmert will follow you anywhere if you tap your right thigh and go like that. I learned that from Cesar Millan.
And they closed the doors and locked the doors and would not let us in.
That is awesome. I don't know why she, don't tell anyone that. Don't. Marge, I'm trying to help you. People of Georgia's 14th district, this asshole fell for the second oldest trick in the book. And the first oldest trick in the book is a hand job. By the way, it's a weird book. She got baited outside. Yeah, no, you know what? My supervisor is here. She's right outside. Is she? Okay, well, I'll give her a piece of my mind. Click, clack. Wait a second. That is beautiful. I did not know that about this. This is breaking news. So stupid. It's like you're complaining to a flight attendant, and they're like, the complaint department's on the wing. Oh, that's awesome. God damn, that's funny. Please take a seat in our very spacious waiting room. It's got a lovely breeze and some beautiful trees. Thanks, CSL. Oh my God, that's great. And you know what the most shocking part of this is? You know what the most shocking part is? Is that Louis Gohmert followed her outside, not the other way around. Like if Louis Gohmert fell for that trick, And she went out to go like, Louie, they're fucking with us. Come back inside. And then they shut the door behind her. She go, God damn it. You know, that would almost make sense. But do you know how fucking dumb you have to be for Louis Gohmert to be the second person to fall for that? I'll follow the smart lady. This is so good. Oh God. And they're admitting this. They're admitting this. No one needed to know this. I'm dying. You could have gotten by. Nobody knew this, Marge. I didn't know this. Nobody playing the clips on the news knew this. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I need to see that again. Please tell the story again.
Gohmert, Paul Gosar, Matt Gaetz, and myself. And then we were told the supervisor was outside, and they pointed to that lady because she had walked outside. I went outside to speak with her, and when I went up to talk with her, Louis Gohmert came with me, and they closed the doors and locked the doors.
Oh my God, that is so good. Oh shit. Oh, God damn it. Seriously, the best people. Hashtag the best people. Oh my God. Imagine going on the news, and I'm using that term very loosely, Newsmax, going on the news and telling people that you were dumber than Louis Gohmert. Oh God, I have to breathe. Oh my son, oh God, that's so great. Oh shit. Yeah, there you go, SNL. Yeah. Oh, fuck, that's so funny. The only thing that could have been better is if they painted a hole in the wall and just said, after you. Oh, God, that's funny. Oh, Marge. Jesus, keep that shit to yourself.
And would not let us in.
Well, no, mission accomplished. They got you out. Jesus Christ.
Now, you have to understand, for your audience listening, members of Congress have oversight.
Not you. Thank you, Jill. Not you. You don't have oversight. You're not on any committees. Fuck off.
Over these types of institutions. We go in and tour detention facilities at the border. We go in and tour all kinds of facilities.
And you arrange for it ahead of time, and you talk to the people who are actually in charge, because you're Congress people. You have the access to those human beings, but you don't get to just storm the gates of one.
And we have never been treated like this before.
Well, don't worry. There will come a time when you will be complaining as much that you couldn't get out of a jail.
I also want to say I'm very concerned about the entire population in that prison.
Why? No, you weren't allowed conjugal visits?
Just the lobby was dirty.
The lobby was dirty. Yeah, it was filthy with asshole Congress people.
People there, one person that worked there when we were outside
had a big sore on their lip and was cleaning their fingernails with their...
called us white supremacists.
Yeah, that's not fair. There's nothing, I mean, no self-respecting white supremacist would go, well, that's a good example of the master race. They go, well, you know, everybody's got some cast-offs. That's why we had a eugenics program.
And I'm just very concerned. I have a lot more questions.
The lobby was dirty, and someone outside called you a white supremacist. What does that have to do with the facility at all? I'm sorry, are you going to, in your, I tell you what, in the next oversight committee, bring up that there should be a 30-foot barrier for people who want to yell anti-congressional lunatic stuff at people walking in and out of the building.
Now than I had before.
It wasn't a federal employee who said that about the white supremacists, right? Or was it?
Well, I mean, it was a violation of their freedom of speech. If it was, look how upset he is. We don't. My tax dollars didn't go to calling you a white supremacist, did it? Don't worry, Greg. Tell you what, I'll do it for free. You're both white supremacists. How do you like it? I mean, dirty. Yeah, there's a jail with a dirty lobby. Mm-hmm.
The person was going into the jail, and I wasn't able to see her uniform, but so I can't say for sure.
So she was visiting someone?
But that was a comment that was...
So it's a relative of one of the January 6th insurrectionists who's trying to talk their relative out of siding with Trump on everything, and they're there for a visit, and they're like, these fucking assholes.
You know, when I see you and your colleagues and that official at the prison, you know what I see? I see a standoff between the people and the deep state.
The deep state? The deep... She's the people in this equation? the woman who works the front fucking desk and the entryway of the prison is the deep state? Jesus Christ. Does this asshole, like, ask every flight attendant if they're CIA?
That person is not elected.
No. They're hired. You're not elected either.
Breaking out a rule book. You know, they have these...
Yeah, a rule book set by oversight by the Congress.
Massive rule books.
Yeah, she follows the rule book. She's an employee, you fucko.
Every excuse in the book, literally, to not talk to you.
No, she didn't need every excuse in the book. She had one reason that was in the rules. You have no right to be on these facility grounds, and you're making a disruption. Goodbye.
You're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I saw that as the people versus the deep state.
Yeah, you said that already, and it gets dumber every time you say it.
I mean, that encapsulates for me so much.
Yes, it does. It encapsulates you perfectly. Moron.
Do you sense
any...
Go ahead.
It was very concerning.
Yeah, it's very concerning. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this woman was hired and took an oath, and she has rules about who can be in there and when, and all these kind of things, and she tried to enforce those laws. Does she not know who I am?
And I tell you, we just had simple questions.
Well, no one... Marge, we know. You don't have any complex thoughts. Of course your questions are simple.
Do they have access to their attorneys?
How come it's so bright in your lobby?
What type of food are they given? Are they allowed to go outside? We just had basic...
No, it's a jail. You're not allowed to go outside. You're allowed to go outside. Go talk to our supervisor. What?
Questions. We weren't there to interfere in any case. We are not...
Yes, you are.
Attorneys, we're members of Congress. We were just assessing the situation in the jail and trying to find out about bad stories we'd heard about. But I am very concerned now.
Yeah, I would be concerned if I was in that jail. Now I got to get a COVID test and all this kind of stuff. I'm kidding. She's been vaccinated.
So, by the way, January 6th committee hearing. Briefly, if you don't mind sharing your thoughts. I don't see how they can have, in good conscience or in any world where it makes sense, to talk about January 6th
without talking about last summer and what's the difference between a couple of targets being burned out outside of St. Louis, Marge, and our capital? What's the difference between a Louis Vuitton store that was looted? It was looted. They looted Louis. Louis was looted.
officially in an official capacity and not talk about Ashley Babbitt?
Oh, to talk about Ashley Babbitt. They will. I mean, as soon as you admit that she climbed through a breach while members of Congress were being moved to safety on a barricaded door that was bashed in by other people who were yelling "Hang Mike Pence," and she had a backpack on her that could have contained any number of incendiary devices, weapons, or biological weapons, anything. Can we not pretend? What was it? Snacks? She have a Cliff Bar in her bag? What'd she have? And if she gets through and it was her that planted the pipe bombs, then what? Then what? What if all those people, those 10 people with her, their whole purpose is to bust that down so she can get through first? They figure a woman will let by the guy. They'll never have the nerve to shoot a woman. And then she gets through and is able to chuck a couple of pipe bombs down the hallway. Then what? Then what, Greg? Fuck Ashley Babbitt. Sorry.
Yes, I hope that they ask many questions about her and others.
Yeah, here's our question. Was she authorized to be in the building? No. Was she authorized to walk through and past cops that had been assaulted so that she could be in the building? No. Was she the first through a breach of a window in a part of the building where they were evacuating people who had to count the electoral votes for the United States of America so that our democracy was secure? And she was the first one through the window, and she knew there was a cop there with a gun drawn. She could see them clearly. Yes. Okay.
Were there
End of questions.
That day, and but I don't have confidence that they will. And this is why this group that we went to the jail today. This is why we've taken it upon ourselves to ask questions. We also went to.
No, you've taken it upon yourself to ask questions because if you looked up the answers in your office with your fucking mouth shut and learned the answers without doing these kind of PR events, you couldn't publicize them and benefit yourself in this bullshit narrative and attack our democracy by shitting on it everywhere. You would just look through and go, oh, that's what they're eating. Okay. Okay. What's the phone number for the person down there? Okay, cool. Hi, this is Marge Taylor Green's office. She'd like to talk to the, is it a sous chef? Who's in charge of food? Yeah, snacks. Anybody? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I can get that person for you. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Prison cafeteria. Hello, how can I help you? Hi, Marge. Yes, good to talk to you again. Thank you. No. No, always glad to hear your voice. The menu today for everyone except the guy with the horns on his head. And we call him that because he made some new horns or whatever. Yeah, toilet paper, I think, so nothing, he can't make a shank. Yeah, he said he didn't know how. He asked if we had an arts and crafts department. Yeah, anyways, let me look right here. The today's menu, Salisbury steak, corn delight, a peanut butter blondie, not organic, not vegan. There's no O or V next to it. Yeah, and fruit cup. Yeah. No, that's not included with the meal. That's just the only thing we will feed the QAnon shaman. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, not feed. Allow him to graze. We have to use all these weird terms for it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Call anytime. Yeah, we'll post the menu for tomorrow at about 3 p.m. I don't know. Solitary is a totally different department. Yes, we do bring food down there. Yes, they do eat it. Well, there's a little window. Yeah, the plate comes out and there's nothing on it. And then later on, yeah, they're smearing their shit on the walls. If they weren't eating their food, there would be a significantly less amount of shit on their walls. We check. Don't worry. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. No. Call anytime. Yeah. Okay. Tell Matt Gaetz I said fuck you. Okay. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. And scene. Sorry. Real butter.
Department of Justice on Tuesday, where we were not even allowed in the lobby. They made us stand out on the.
Yeah, it was dirty enough. They were trying to clean the lobby. It was a filthy mess, and then you come in and make it worse.
Sidewalk. We had notified them in advance that we were coming, just like we did for the jail, and they would not even let us in the lobby to get safety, get into safety off the streets. There were many.
Get into safety off the streets. I don't know, you speak so well. I don't know why it wasn't clear why you were there.
Activists coming, and it was just a few years ago that Republican members of Congress were shot on the baseball field by a communist Bernie Sanders supporter.
And? I'm sorry. Did any Republicans, I tell you what, did any Democrats go down there and ask if the dude was getting oatmeal cookies or not?
They may not like you. They may not be of the same party, these permanent deep state employees. But
Deep state employees. Dude, people in the correctional system, like wardens and guards and stuff, they all vote Republican. What the fuck are you talking about?
you are elected and they aren't. And
yeah, you're special, okay? Elected, let's follow Greg's logic here. If you've been elected, you can go anywhere you fucking want, do anything at any time. You're a VIP. And if it's a private citizen or some government employee that was not elected, is not holding an elected office currently, then you can do anything you fucking want. So if you want to go over to the IRS and tell them to release Trump's tax returns, Biden can do that because he was elected by the widest margin in American history.
this is outrageous what's
Oh, God.
happening. Hey, we got to get
Hey, I gotta go. I mean, I wish you were more interesting, but...
your take on this ridiculous mask situation on Capitol Hill. I understand the Senate is a mask-free zone, but the House masks are mandatory. And you bravely and rather dramatically with some of your Republican colleagues...
Yes, so brave. Oh, my God. So brave.
marched over to the Senate.
She bravely marched over to the Senate
And Congresswoman
and farted.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I hope you don't mind, but we set it to some music. I think you might like it. I know I do. Take a look.
Really? What is this? SWAT shaft? What's she trying to be? Oh, it is. It's SWAT. I can't, like, you can't play that shit. You get a copyright strike, dum-dum. Now I gotta do this. Hold on. Let me, let's see. Whoops, no, the wrong one. Sorry. Let's see. Give me a moment. Hold, please. Yeah, I'll just do it this way. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second. I'm working on. Yeah, that works. She loved that. Oh my God. The irony that you put the SWAT team and we were just trespassing on federal corrections grounds. That's so funny.
Give you a lot of credit, but you were there. What was happening? What was on your mind?
Easy question. I'm going to go with nothing.
Well, thank you. I love the video. The music is great. I wish it'd been playing there in the halls. I've been fighting these mask mandates for a long time.
Yeah, almost as long as people, have been dying of COVID. I've been fighting these mask mandates since we found out that it kills black and brown people at a higher rate. Like, I swear to God, if I found out that it wiped out gay people, I'd be walking around just snatching them off people's faces.
I actually had been fined before by the House Ethics Committee, where 4 out of 5 Democrats on the House Ethics Committee who had signed a resolution to expel me from Congress refused to recuse themselves, and they voted that I should be fined. So
Yeah, I mean, they obviously are witnesses.
this has been an ongoing thing for me. I don't wear masks on the House floor. I refuse to, and that's why Tom.
Yeah, but for the record, you've been vaccinated and you kind of don't give a shit, and you've been lying about that. And you're pretending that you're kind of you're not worried about getting it because of that. But most people are concerned about you wearing a mask just because of your breath.
Massey and Ralph Norman and I are suing Nancy Pelosi if anyone's interested in that.
No one is. Seriously, no one is. Trump might be, but he's no one. So, of consequence.
Go to speakermaskhole.com and you can find out more. But we're
Speakermaskhole.com? Really? That's the best?
suing Nancy Pelosi because she is abusing power.
Oh my God, it's so terrible.
It's her position
Oh my God,
as
it's terrible.
Speaker of the House.
She's like, it's like she's got control or something.
And you know, the Senate doesn't have to wear masks, but yet the House has to wear masks.
Yeah, she sets the rules there. She can't set the rules for the Senate, so.
And today, Nancy Pelosi told the Capitol Police to arrest staff and visitors in the Capitol coming in and into our offices even if they are not wearing a mask. And this is outrageous.
Yeah, no, I mean, they can be removed from the premises. They're staff. They're not elected officials. They're part of the deep state, right, Greg? And if you're a visitor, play by the house's rules. It's not your fucking house. You're a visitor.
I've called for the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. I've called to
Is that who it is?
vacate the chair. So I'm doing everything I can to.
Yeah, you're doing everything you can. It's amazing. Who else would have the bravery to go, you should quit. I don't like you.
Work against this
Thank
woman.
you,
And I
Raphael.
was excited that my colleagues and I made a trip over to the Senate.
She doesn't like masks because it makes it hard for her to eat Cocoa Pebbles. Ouch.
That's the magical barrier, you know, that stops COVID. It's invisible. You can't see it, Greg. But when you walk through the rotunda to the Senate side, you can't catch COVID. But
Well, no, she doesn't set the rules in the Senate. She's setting rules in the House. There's a separation of power there. See? Which normally you'd be for, but right now.
when you come back to the House side,
We do need more trolls. It's true.
into the black hole. I call it a black hole because it is like going into an abyss.
Are we still talking about Matt Gaetz?
For Nancy Pelosi reigns. Apparently, COVID is rampant. And you have to wear a mask.
The DMZ zone, the D-mask
The Z stands for zone.
zone. Here's Congressman Loudermilk. I think he's the one on the right. I'm not sure who he's walking with, but they're coming from the Senate side, going to the House side, and there they are, right there in the rotunda, and boom. That's where you can get COVID, not on the other side. Listen, I don't...
Well, the mocking would be for the Senate side of things that they haven't made the rule mandatory over there. Not that the rule is mandatory in the House. The House is protecting itself, the Senate is not. It would be the other way around. See, they're literally, you could have a Lawrence O'Donnell segment where they're taking their masks off, going the other way, going, what the fuck is this about? How come these assholes think they're safe when the rules for the building are different over there?
I don't think she could. She can. I don't think she has the authority to make cops do that. I don't think cops have the authority to arrest anybody.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. If you violate the health rules in the Capitol, you can be asked to leave. If you refuse to leave, you can be arrested. Why is this weird? What is this homesteading bullshit?
No.
Yeah.
No, and that's Barry Loudermilk. His district is next to mine in Georgia, so great colleague of mine in Georgia.
Yeah, there's a nice spike of deaths in both your areas.
That's a great video. I absolutely love it. But no, this is actually
They didn't put the SWAT music on that one.
abuse of the Capitol Police. Nancy Pelosi abuses the Capitol Police. She did not protect them.
I beg your pardon?
She didn't bring the National Guard in on January 6th, and the Capitol Police were left
We've already covered this.
out there to defend the Capitol in some very violent situations.
Hey, I'm Rob.
Hi, Rob. Why did they cut off at that point? What'd she say past that point that screwed the pooch? Did she say something dumber than they told us the supervisor was outside? Ooh, that was fun. I have to say, there's a level of joy that I experienced in that little moment. Woo, buddy. I think we all owe the idiocy of Marjorie Taylor Greene a thank you card. 'Cause holy God. Hi, Motang Gang. Sorry I missed. Thank you, Deanne. Hi. Missed a few days. I'm up in Anchorage right away. Hanging with my hubby who's a pilot up here. Love you guys. Oh, nice. As soon as life goes back to abnormal, I'm going to try and finish. Oh, I'm going to finish getting my pilot's license. So, you know, I'm sure I will have questions along the way. All right. So let's. I have a hard out at 5 o'clock. Hello. At 5 o'clock today, because Summer and I are getting together with Mark Savard and his girl, and it's just that's all you need to know. So before we get into the fact that I want to see what if Matt does you think we'll see if Matt Gaetz has had a similar experience as far as getting locked out. If he tells the same story. Yeah. Good times. I'm very curious to see if that's there. Hold on one second, and then we go. I have to see something. Does that jump? Yeah. Beg your pardon. Okay, here we go. So this is them telling the story to Steve Bannon's.
Let me ask
war room.
about this. I think you're a lawyer. Is that correct?
Oh, and this is what's his name? Navarro, Peter Navarro. Peter Navarro is really going off the deep end. Like, he's seen the kind of money that Steve Bannon is making being a lunatic, and how much attention Mike Flynn is getting for like doing the QAnon pledge and all that shit, and is just like cha-ching.
You are a lawyer. So
Yeah, it says War Room behind them. This is Steve Bannon's show is called The War Room. And by War Room, by the way, he means a converted dining room in his DC condo. That's that kind of war room.
Yes. What do we know about has there been any charging documents of these folks? I mean, look, there was significant violence on Capitol Hill. We do not condone any of that.
Actually, she's not with you on that, Peter Navarro. She condones a good portion of it.
Correct. But at the same time, as I understand it, nobody in
Notice that Matt Gaetz said correct. Marge Green did not.
jail has been charged with insurrection. Nobody's been really.
No, just assault on a police officer, violent trespassing, that kind of stuff.
Charged.
Now, the word insurrection is not necessary. He acts like you can rape someone in the Capitol grounds, but if you can't be charged with rape if you're not also charged with insurrection first.
With an offense that would be warranting essentially a no bail Guantanamo Bay type situation. Matt,
there is no bail Guantanamo Bay type situation in any of these areas. They've all had bail hearings. They've all had opportunities. Any of the people at Guantanamo Bay who had a bail hearing, whatever the fuck that would be for them, that went, you know what, fuck you, I'm staying in here. As soon as I get out, I'm going to do worse. And they're like, oh, that's weird. I guess he wants to stay.
what do you know as a congressman, as a lawyer, about the status of these detainees?
Nothing.
Nearly enough. We sent a letter
Right.
to the Attorney General asking for the array of charges and the basis for the deprivations in liberty for these particular people. And
The deprivations in liberty. I'll tell you what they are. They are a danger to the public at large. That's why. That's going to be the answer. Good night.
we are not here to prejudge any particular case or advocate.
No, you are here assuming that the judges involved in this process are somehow, finding this, are doing this politically just to keep. I mean, they literally refer to them as detainees. It's friggin' goofy.
For any particular detainee, our concern is for the American system of justice.
Yeah, that's why. That's the reason we care about the American system of justice, and that's why we, with just a phone call, showed up at a jail and wanted to meet with and talk with prisoners who were on our side of the aisle, who very well may at some point say about us that we were one of the reasons why they felt like they had the right to storm the Capitol, and we want to, put them on notice that won't fly.
Because what we know...
By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have the thumbs up. Venmo. We've had some really lovely Venmos lately, and so I thank you folks. I don't ever know for sure if people who do the Venmo want to get a shout out or anything like that. So if you do, just put a little asterisk next to yours, and I don't mind giving you a shout out, but it always seems like something separate than the super chats and the like, and the bits and that kind of thing. Thank you, Shadow Woman, by the way, and Ninka Crinkles, and Joe DNS for gifting subs. Really lovely of you. Thank you.
Is the world is watching, and if the
world is watching. No, dude, if I wasn't showing these clips, no one would give a fuck, man. We're only watching this for the moments you two are accidentally funny.
Biden administration just utilized its power to keep people locked up, maybe with incomplete charges, maybe with...
Oh, believe me, their charges are not incomplete. There are just more charges to come.
Misdemeanor charges. Well, then that justifies some of the worst actions of some of the worst despots in the world. We were hopeful...
Yeah, the worst despots in the world. One of the worst things that they do, the worst actions that they do, is scoop up people who attacked their own capitals and put them in jail, feed them 3 times a day, give them access to legal counsel and a bail hearing, and then an actual trial by a jury, and then a sentence within the guidelines around the... whatever crime they are charged with, and nothing more. The worst of the worst.
To get answers, to review them, and to engage in a thoughtful process, the attorney...
If you wanted answers, you want to engage in a thoughtful process, you could do it from your fucking office. This is PR, piss off. Thank you, Josie.
General of the United States would not allow us into the lobby at the Department of Justice.
Do the numbers for...
Yeah. Make an appointment.
Do we know how many people...
They're not allowing you to have a press conference in the lobby of the Department of Justice.
Or actually...
Over 500 people have been arrested.
500.
And it's unclear as to the status of how many are at this particular facility or elsewhere.
So, you just picked it because it was close, you lazy son of a bitch.
And how many of them were arrested in the possession of guns or other...
We're unaware of any weapons charges.
And of the...
Yeah, a lot of the weapons that they had to get were came from the cops they assaulted.
Those people in there, what percentage of them do we know anything about were the most, let's say the most violent, the ones that might have broken windows or...
He doesn't know shit.
Or acted aggressive.
He doesn't know. He just said he doesn't know. They don't know. They didn't bother to find out. And part of this, the reason is because unless you're on the goddamn committee, there's a way they can find out, by the way. There are members of their party that are on the oversight committee for the federal penitentiary system and all this other stuff, and the DOJ, and they could, request to speak to the DOJ, and they could have their, people in the judiciary committee, for example, talk to, they could submit questions to them to put to the DOJ and find out. And if there was something acute about this, like, oh my God, somebody's on hunger strike or something like that, then the committee will work on it faster instead of just, running around in circles for these jagoffs who attack the Capitol. They have umpteen ways of finding this information out that don't involve barging into places.
Because if you look at the videos of this, there were a lot of people inside the perimeter who appeared to be just walking around.
Well, that's the point, Peter. You see, the point is, if we segregate out
yeah, those aren't the people getting charged or being sought by the FBI largely. They're being allowed to walk. You ask me, they all need to be have a federal, I don't know if there's technically a felony trespassing charge, but there goddamn well better be one.
The violent individuals and deal with those cases fairly
Yes.
in our criminal justice system, then we can move on
Thanks, V. Gabriel.
from this and work on important issues like confronting China.
Yeah.
But you see, they don't want to do that. What they
Sorry, they're already confronting China. The administration is working on ways to confront China. They are directly confronting China. While you're dicking around walking into the lobby of a local federal jail that with no knowledge that anyone there is being even detained from the January 6th stuff, much less harmed or not treated properly. And you have a dozen different ways you could find out that don't involve you going someplace where you might actually affect the outcome of the trial of these people.
want to do is use January 6th as a
You want to use January 6th as a PR point?
blood libel against the entire MAGA America First
How
movement.
can they,
That's right.
MTG, how can they keep this information from the American people? How do we not?
They don't. You have a judiciary committee that will look at stuff, and if there's anything untoward going on, it's fine, and they'll, when they deal with their funding and all that kind of stuff, it happens on a tri-yearly basis. The American people can find out all they want about it. But we're not going to live webcam the fucking prisons just because all of a sudden these assholes give a crap about who's in them because it's their buddies. Sorry, but at what point is anybody? I mean, are we just going to pretend the Manchurian Candidate movie doesn't exist and that people don't know shit about traitorous behavior? Period. And why we have rules in place since the Cold War about where you can go and why you can go there and who has clearance for what and stuff, and just pretend that doesn't apply anymore magically because we're all on fucking Facebook? Are you out of your goddamn mind? So in what world do you want the Paul Gosars of the world to sneak cyanide into prisons so that traitorous people can go, cut off one head, two more will come, Hail Hydra, for fuck's sake.
Oh, who's in there? How do we not know? I mean, how do we not know that?
I am appalled. It's like a two-tier justice system, right? It's
No, it isn't. It's a one-tier justice system.
where these January 6th defendants or Trump supporters can be detained and then
Hey, there's progress. She just admitted that the people who are in jail for violent acts from January 6th are Trump supporters. No backpedaling on that. Thanks, Marge.
they refuse to answer any questions. But for
Just gave name, rank, and MAGA number.
Antifa and BLM rioter,
My name is George Finkelnair, Tulsa, Oklahoma, MAGA number 777, Jesus saves 69 Patriot. Shit, that's my parlor name. It's my MAGA number again. It's tattooed on my butt. Go look. Just look past the fentanyl.
it's catch and release. And there is no apologies, and they do not feel like they owe us any answers. And I'll tell you, my personal belief is this regime, this Biden regime,
This regime has these detainees. Listen to the fucking language on this. Holy shit.
it has gone so far left. They're not even an American party anymore. It's basically what we would see in like communist China.
Yeah, it's exactly like what we would see in communist China when, because everybody over there, if they stormed the government buildings and beat police officers, yeah, in China they would totally get a bail hearing and credit for time served once they are charged. Especially if they spit in a guard's face. They wouldn't at all be executed and have their family billed for the ammo.
Felt that way. It had that feel, Peter, when we were there in the
Oh, I understand how things feel, but facts don't care about your feelings. Hashtag fuck your feelings. Right? Right, Matt? Right? What's this beta male bullshit?
folks reacted to us so viscerally.
How many of these people have lawyers of their own as opposed to public
As opposed to what?
offenders? And
As opposed to they are Oh, they have public defenders, do they? They have thanks, Peter Navarro. Public defenders. Yeah, they would totally get those in China. Good point.
Those, are you able to talk to the lawyers? Would you be able to schedule visits? Are they under such fascist rule right now that they're literally?
Yeah, totally fascist. It gets a little slowish later in the night.
You can't touch or reach them?
Those basic questions that you're asking constitute the questions that we have asked for months with no response. And so it's...
What the fuck are you talking about? Look at their filings. Ask for the filing paper. Have your staff look it up. Their lawyers are on record. They've all had bail hearings. It says whether or not they have public defenders or whether they've hired their own people. This isn't... And no one at the jail's gonna know this shit? I don't know. They seem to have nice suits. I don't know what to tell you. What the fuck are you talking about?
Frustrating to not be able to answer these questions for you. I'm on the damn Judiciary Committee, and I can't answer these questions for you.
Yeah, you could. You just don't care to, because this is a publicity stunt.
Basic
Let's be
questions.
clear to the
we
American
were
people.
asking-
These are the most basic questions.
Yes.
Right, exculpatory evidence.
What
due
did they
process.
do? What did they?
Exculpatory evidence. Yes. When are they going to release the footage of them? Like, I was really in the Oklahoma. And listen, my husband and I were burning the Tulsa, Oklahoma Capitol building. Okay, it's a reproduction. It's in the Taft Presidential Library. Okay.
Charged with.
But I think there's another explanation here for why they are deviating so greatly from normal standards. Because
Oh boy, here it comes. This is it. The big conspiracy. Let's hear it. Matt, he has the documents.
if you treat these people like anyone else that might have committed a federal misdemeanor, then you can't say that...
these people didn't commit federal misdemeanors. The people who committed federal misdemeanors are being let go. The people who committed felonies or are accused of felonies, who have allegedly committed felonies on their own, that they live streamed on Facebook, you dope, those folks are in jail.
This is an ongoing national security threat. So I believe that there are people who under almost any other circumstance would be out on the road in recognizance, but to make a political point.
And we already have established, your belief is based on nothing. You don't know.
Are behind bars right now because the Biden administration, the intelligence community, they want to turn these exquisite authorities in the national security apparatus inward to the American people, to hunt our people.
Either one of you.
To hunt our people. That's right. I mean, this was all a slippery slope from Timothy McVeigh. You know what I mean? Because that's when it was just an overreach. How dare they? How dare the FBI and the exquisite laws of intelligence gathering go after someone like Timothy McVeigh, a veteran of this country? Yeah, sure, he parked a fertilizer bomb in front of a preschool in the bottom of a government building and killed a bunch of kids and people, but he's an American, okay? He was an American first. Right up to the second, he set off the bomb. And then, as soon as he was caught, he's back to being an American. That's the Matt Gaetz rule.
What do we know about the people who aren't in jail right now, who should be, that might have been part of what looks to be some kind of entrapment or instigation? Are we
entrapment or instigation? Yeah, that's the thing about Trump followers, is that they're so poor things. You know what I mean? Like, how are they supposed to know this was a big setup? They just went to the stairs like, oh my God, everyone's charging in. I should beat a cop too. Look at all the people dressed just like me that are beating cops. This is fun. I didn't realize we were beating cops today. This is fabulous. Oh my God, that wasn't a real MAGA supporter beating a cop. It was a BLM. It was a black man in whiteface wearing a MAGA hat. I got tricked.
Are you tracking that as Congresspeople?
I talked to a couple of people when we were in California. I went and visited the church that Tim Thompson has. That he was arrested. One of the pastors arrested in California during the shutdowns. and I met several people there, and they were telling me terrible stories. But they were just here in Washington, D.C., the two men. They were on Capitol grounds, but they did not go into the Capitol at all. The FBI raided their homes in the middle of the night. They took pictures of their daughters, one man's daughter's drawing of her holding an American flag that said, "I'm a patriotic American." They drug the other.
For the record, I'm going to need proof that it was his daughter's drawing. It is completely conceivable that this lunatic only works in, his main medium is crayon.
Man's wife out of the bed, handcuffed her. She was.
Well, it's not their fault she was in bed, and she should have been handcuffed already. I mean, what kind of patriot are you? You let your woman just lay in bed without handcuffs on? I mean...
She was in her night clothes. They took her out.
What? Working on her night clothes.
Outside, and the newspaper happened to be there and took pictures of her, and that ended up on the front page newspaper, and she wasn't even in Washington, D.C. She was in California on January 6th.
Yeah, that would ruin her life.
And what Peter wants to know, though, is are there
how'd she look in her night clothes?
animating elements of
Yes.
the criminal conduct
Yes.
within our government, or manipulated by our government, or directed by our government?
And let me just refer you to
No, he doesn't mean that. Matt, that's not what he's talking about. He means that the followers of Donald Trump were baited into attacking the Capitol. They were tricked into building a gallows by Antifa, cleverly disguised as maggots who'd been at every Trump rally.
this issue that of Michigan, where we discovered that of the 18 people involved in the attempted kidnapping of Governor Whitmer there, 12 of them were FBI,
Including the main
informants.
architects.
Okay, so I mean that is to me that's the clearest case of Hoover-esque entrapment I've
Hoover-esque entrapment. Good.
ever seen. Now,
If I was a local prosecutor in Michigan,
yes.
I would indict the FBI under a RICO theory.
So the question is,
Under a RICO theory. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Yeah. To catch 6 dudes, it took 12 people because they had to make phone calls. They're like, yeah, this is my buddy Gary. He's part of it. He's going to help us. Cool. Is he on the phone right now? Yeah, he is. Like, for fuck's sake.
did that happen here?
Well,
We
the
need to
very
get the
Yes. 80% of the people who stormed the Capitol were FBI agents, cleverly disguised as cop-beating maggots.
Hearing
January
that.
6th.
We're hearing
yeah,
that.
the very person who was running the field office in Michigan.
Yeah, apparently it was 12, PHKL. 12 out of the 18. Right, hold on one second. Let's see. Let's see. 12 FBI agents, Whitmer plot. I'm sure it's, we're going to find a bunch of, let's see. Let's see. Oh. Sorry. Let's see. I need to just to clarify. Who?
Entrapment I've ever seen. Now, we discovered that of the 18 people involved in the attempted kidnapping of Governor Whitmer there, 12 of them were FBI,
Including the main
informants.
architects.
Okay, so I mean that
Sorry. 12 of them were FBI informants. So basically, these assholes have no friends. There you go. FBI allegedly used at least 12 informants in the Michigan kidnapping case. Defense attorney said that they were induced or persuaded. The government employed at least a dozen confidential informants to infiltrate groups of armed extremists who allegedly plotted to kidnap the governor of Michigan. According to a new filing in federal court on Monday, the filing, made by one of the 5 defendants in the federal case, asked prosecutors to be ordered to share more information about those informants, their relationship with the FBI, so they can be killed before court, of course, their relationship with the FBI, and the specific roles they played in the case. It came along a blizzard of 15 new defense motions in the high-profile case. Let's see. According to a new filing in federal court on Monday. Okay. Taken together, the new court papers offered a glimpse of the evolving defense strategy in the case. Oh, so it wasn't... They allege up to 12. FBI allegedly used. I see. I thought we found out, Peter Navarro, I thought we found out that 12 of them were FBI informants and that they were, we found this out. Not that the suspects themselves have alleged that there were 12. All right. Taken together, the new court papers offer a glimpse of the evolving defense strategies in the case, with several attorneys saying that the plan to argue that the FBI induced or persuaded the men to go along with the scheme. The alleged plot to kidnap Whitmer made international headlines. The defendants, Barry Croft, Adam Fox, Daniel Harris, Caleb Franks, and Brandon Castierta had all pleaded not guilty and have been held without bail since their arrest. A sixth, Ty Garbin, pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate in the case in January. Now, does he count as one of the confidential informants, or not so much? Okay, I see. 8 other men were charged under Michigan's anti-terrorism statutes for providing material support to the plotters. Half of the defendants in the combined case were members of a militant group known as the Wolverine Watchmen, which is associated with the Three Percenters extremist movement. All but 2 are from the state of Michigan. Let's see. Although prosecutors have acknowledged using informants to build their case, the court file to this date has provided very little detail on their activities or identities, save for one informant. One informant who testified in March. According to attorney for Franks, the government has shared ID numbers linked to 12 confidential informants, but with one exception has not provided background on how they were recruited, what payments they may have received from the FBI, where they're based, or what their names are. Yeah, and how are we going to kill them between now and trial if you don't out them? I don't understand. So 12 informants, so 2 members of each family of each of the assholes who got arrested called in. They want the name and number of anybody who's called Crime Stoppers in the last 14 months. All right.
To me, that's the clearest case of Hoover-esque entrapment I've ever.
Yeah, but in all fairness, Peter Navarro, you're fucking dumb.
seen now.
If I was a local prosecutor in Michigan,
yes,
I would indict the FBI.
If he was a local prosecutor in Michigan, there would have been a bunch of lawsuits by fathers of minor victims against the prosecutor's office in Michigan.
Under a RICO theory.
So the question,
A RICO theory. It's a great theory.
is did that happen here?
Well,
We
the
need
very
to get the
We're
bottom of
hearing
January 6th.
that.
No.
We're hearing
Yeah.
that.
I'll just jump to the end. No, it didn't happen here. It did not. 12 out of 18 of every 18-person group on the Capitol that day was not FBI informants.
The very person who was running the field office in Michigan that oversaw that operation got a big promotion and ended up in Washington, D.C. at
Yeah, because they caught a group of men who were planning to kidnap and murder a governor.
Head shed. That's great reporting from Revolver News that people should check out. And so it wouldn't be unreasonable to say, gosh, the thing that got me the promotion,
Thank you, Sarah, for the Venmo. Appreciate that.
in criminal conduct within an organization, to be able to bring the full weight of the law against that organization, to see that replicated in some other way.
Are you two able?
Stupid, are you able to read? Are either of you able to operate a rotating door without getting your foot caught and chipping your teeth on the floor?
To do anything
Fondle? What word are you looking for, Peter?
formally with any kind of significant powers to conduct an alternative investigation of what happened in January 6th?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna file the paperwork to become PIs, and they're gonna open their own branch of the female body inspectors.
Get to the bottom of this entrapment.
Believe me, they're already at the bottom, Peter. It would be more of a challenge for them to get to the middle of anything.
Issue to get to the bottom of why these people many of them are in jail without bail that likely should at least be released or charged.
We are not.
They have been charged, and they're being held. The reasoning for why they're being held is public.
Going to be able to utilize.
I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. I trust the justice system in this circumstance. And if I'm wrong later because one of them was made to stand in stress positions, I I will feel very bad about it. In the meantime, this is all bullshit.
Has the powers of the House of Representatives to do that, but you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is suing Nancy Pelosi. She is not just in the.
Yeah, it's totally going to work too. It's a good use of. I'm glad. You know, we could be, you know, holding China accountable, I think was the phrase earlier. But I think it's important that I mean, you got to do this first. You have to sue the Speaker of the House of the United States of America about masks, I think, before you can ever hold China accountable.
Chamber, and so I think we may have to use the legal process. We may have to seek subpoena power in some way. We may have to even rely on some of our partners in the Senate.
I mean, like what? And so why haven't we done that? I mean,
well, you know, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I'm only working with what I have in my head. That's it.
This town is ridiculous. It's broken. And the reason why...
Well, yeah, I mean, you're proof of that, clearly. I mean, one of the ways it could improve is if people like you never got elected to office again. I mean, it is healing a little bit in that Peter Navarro no longer holds a position in any administration, and he is relegated to running Steve Bannon's podcast while Steve's away on, I guess, on yachts with Chinese billionaires.
About that.
Yeah, but here's what I want to say.
on board on this?
Here's what I want to say. We need to redefine Congress, and that is exactly what we are doing. I don't...
Yeah, we're going to tear down the whole system and build it up again exactly as it is, but with just less diversity. That's the problem.
care how it normally works here in Washington, D.C. I don't care how the House of Representatives normally runs. We're in unprecedented times where...
No, we're not. We're in precedented times. This isn't World War II. A precedent was set largely by the Spanish flu, one would even say. And we're in a better position to deal with it than we were then. We've also been through Nixonian bullshit before. These aren't unprecedented times. 1812, anyone?
You're talking about the FBI befriending people and setting up crimes and possibly...
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're befriending and setting up crimes.
That's what happened here at January 6th, too. So I don't care.
Yes. Do you know how many FBI agents we would have to employ to befriend all the assholes that charged the Capitol and beat cops and smeared shit on the walls? I mean, how many do you need to talk you into that stuff? 3 apiece?
How it's normally done. I'm going to find other ways to do it, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Let me ask you guys.
Yeah, I recommend. I have a way that you might be able to do it. I have an idea. First of all, obviously Washington is the problem, so you should resign and leave immediately, and then you should form your own social media organization and overwhelm Facebook with your thrall us with your acumen.
Can't hide forever, Peter, because they got to show up and give testimony.
You have so much access to information. What do you guys know about what we knew before January 6th in law enforcement at the Pentagon that we did not act on? In other words, was this, as Steve says, was this an information failure or was it information warfare? Did we know, did the D.C. police, the Capitol Police...
Yeah, who was president when this shit happened? It's a good question.
Did we know that something was going to happen and just didn't do it, or was it something else?
I don't know. That Christopher Miller memo is kind of fucked.
So, I mean, what do we know about that? Have we gotten to the bottom of that? What did we know and when did we know it?
Well,
Yeah, I think it was probably Al Gore, right?
have been told that the intelligence was there, that there was going to be violence on January 6th.
Yes. Most intelligent people looked at the way Trump was talking and the assholes he was inviting to D.C. and going, yeah, this looks like shit. This looks violent.
Everyone knows about the pipe bombs on January 5th.
Yeah.
We also know that...
Yeah, it's weird that there was no shift in policy about the National Guard from Christopher Miller from his memorandum on the 4th to the 5th after those bombs were found. So bombs were found... near the Capitol, and yet Christopher Miller did not change his policy about the National Guard and making them available to D.C.
National Guard was...
We always play with the trolls around here. They're adorable, and they help us by basically piggybacking us on their algorithm to other parts of the web we wouldn't be on. on the wider streams that are out there. It's good. It's good. I mean, they're harmless.
Requested to be at the Capitol, and I was told personally by a Capitol police officer that there were 500 officers ready to come from the National Guard. They were ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And who had the right and the ability to write a memorandum that would keep them from being deployed?
They were never given the order to go to the Capitol, and
they were never given the order to. Where is the Capitol again? In the D.C. area, I think, somewhere in the area. I'm not great with maps.
that responsibility falls squarely on the Speaker of the House, and that's Nancy Pelosi.
Let me ask Matt.
There is that really difficult issue you have with the Christopher Miller memo, so that even if she did call up the National Guard, they would not have been able to have any materials to support them. They would have basically been there in short sleeves and socks and boxers, I think. That would have been it. Hold on, let's see if I can. I'm going to actually have to at some point. I figured out a way, by the way, to keep the jittery video stuff from happening, I think. But it means keeping another window up for my transitions all the time. So hopefully that won't cook my computer. I'm doing another test while we're doing the show. I hope you don't feel used like guinea pigs is. All right, so obviously that's all they got. And where do you go if obviously the infrastructure bill is gonna pass today? It's gonna pass tonight. Has it done it already? It's already moved into debate. The problem is they've already worked it through. Everybody in the committees has already spoken about this stuff. I'm gonna bring something up for myself and see if it's in there. Oh, and Mike Lindell not airing his ads. He can't air his ads for his little symposium on Fox News is just so choice. We'll take a peek at that before the show's done too. But yeah. Whoops. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's see. I have. Let's see what the latest is on this. Just because I do it. Oh, thanks, anonymous cheerer. Yes. the idiocy of margarine Gaylor Green. Gaylor Queen. I see. That's good. Let's see. Congrats, no surprise, bipartisan infrastructure bill. Let's see. The list on that. Oh, God. Robert Reich. What's wrong with you? Let's see. It's critical to keep the... yeah. Include those negotiations, understand. It's a twofer. Yeah. By the way, all the folks who are... let's see, want to facilitate trades in Bitcoin and other digital assets subject to reporting rules similar to those governing sales, stocks, and other securities. That's wise. I think it's a good idea. There's a bunch of this stuff that's going to, like, the generalized conversation that's happening in terms of, I got to make myself a little transition button on here. In terms of here, like, one of the big stories in this hard infrastructure thing is that they want Bitcoin and other digital assets to be, reported just like every other kind of cash, which, if you're just using it because it's a safe way of transferring money, you don't trust giving your bank account number on things like eBay and the like, or you want to pay for things on the DL, I guess is what it is. But they're trying to, the difference is, should this be cash rules around Bitcoin or actual trade rules? Now, if it was if it was if you could physically come up with something, there's an argument for it's physically in your hand, you're handing it to someone else, that's a private act. So does that work with digital transfers of digital currencies in the modern era? I got news for you. At some point, for if any of the Bitcoin or any of the other digital stuff graduates into being worldwide useful, it is absolutely going to be required to report it for 80% of all of its interactions, and 20% of it will be like low-end cash interchange kind of stuff. But even then, if you're buying something using it as an actual currency in a present situation, like at a store or from a vendor of any sort, it's going to show up one way or another. Anyways, in how they file their taxes and all that kind of stuff. And if it doesn't, then they're going to be in deep shit. So that's one of the big stories about this particular part of it. So there's a lot of people concerned about that stuff. Robert Reich is pulling this up. Senate Dems, don't be duped. Hold back approving the bipartisan hard infrastructure deal until this larger soft infrastructure bill, child care, child benefit, home care, health care, community college, passes the Senate on reconciliation without any GOP votes. No. Piss off. Thanks. That's all I have to say. I'm sick of that nonsense. All right, here we go. Now, of course, if you're losing infrastructure week, what are you going to talk about? What else do you got to talk about? Like the job market's looking good, the economy's coming around, even the mask mandate stuff. Everybody's like, it's so confusing. Is the CDC just making up their own shit? Like, even those conversations, they're just eating a lot of news, but aren't really affecting life on the ground. People are wearing their masks again. It's a habit we developed. We'll be fine. It's not that big a deal. So where are you going to go? Well, obviously the border. Horrifying. But Biden's border disaster. Illegal crossings reach record high as surge continues. Dun, dun, dun. Apparently this is called Tucker spars with Geraldo Rivera in heated segment on immigration. I can't wait to see.
Crisis continues to get worse months after Vice President Kamala Harris's visit, and
Well, it's not getting worse. It's pretty much stabilized in its issue, and they're still processing the people who are just sitting in Mexico. I'm sorry, you were hyperbolating.
President released her root causes migration strategy today. It focuses on things like economic inequality, combating corruption, and promoting human rights. But critics point out it doesn't mention securing the border.
Yeah, because securing the border is not part of the root crisis. It's the fruit crisis, if you will. But then you can't use that as an analogy because then you'd have to address all the big agribusiness people who sneak Hispanic people, Mexican people, and Guatemalans and people across the border to pick fruit for them and don't pay them a living wage and then threaten them with deportation if they have any concerns.
Tucker Carlson joins us now. The latest.
And it's good that Tucker is back with everybody. Let's see.
I like wood.
All right. I don't know that. Yeah, the border is secure. It's just this silly, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure they're going to play footage of people being deported.
Originals is out today on Fox Nation. He goes to the epicenter of the border crisis, where Americans say they are forced to arm themselves. Watch.
He's going to the epicenter on his Tucker Carlson Originals. It's his own. It's sort of like Vice. If Vice included shit about having dinner with Matt Gaetz and a 17-year-old with a woman pretending to be your wife.
Where's our federal government? Nobody's helping us out.
You are the federal government.
People are afraid in their own homes right now. People are afraid in their own yards.
And I never leave home without a pistol in my pocket and a dog on my side.
None of our family feels safe leaving the house without a gun.
This is America. We shouldn't have to live in fear in our own house.
It's going to go to where people are going to start freaking dying. And it ain't going to be us in this.
Well, it might. I don't know that herpes is actually life-threatening. Yeah, this isn't overly dramatic and full of hyper-cut footage and interviews with people who are the paranoia patriots.
Tucker, thanks for joining us today. We're going to all get a chance to ask you a little bit of a...
Yeah, I have a question, Tucker, if I may. One second, Real Doll. Tucker, I noticed you're not in any of that footage. Was it just too hot, or... I mean, usually they'll put footage of somebody walking along with a microphone, but you're an anchor guy. You probably don't have to.
Tell me about the overall approach that you took here to try to bring this story to everybody that can see it on Fox News.
I'm going to go with editing and world-ending blockbuster movie cutting and music.
Well, I mean, the whole key to covering the news is to try and think clearly, and just because the other channels and the administration are telling you that, I don't know, COVID is the biggest story at the moment doesn't mean that it is. And actually, there are a lot of...
Well, it is because we're getting a handle on it, and the only problem areas are red state areas, and you are one of the people directly responsible at Fox for all the deaths. So I can understand why you would want to downplay, to use one of your heroes' favorite words, downplay the importance of the COVID story, and then go talk about something else that something your regular viewers can really get behind. You know what I mean? Can really get excited about.
Crises unfolding around the country, and this is the greatest of all. Our southern border.
Here's a dude jumping out.
Is open.
There's a couple people.
We're going to get literally.
These guys are running.
Millions of foreign nationals into our country illegally.
Come back here.
This year, and the overwhelming majority will stay. And the New York Times.
So that would be a police officer chasing some people.
So they announced that they should all be allowed to vote.
There's
choose our next government, etc. So this is a massive transformation. You can be for it. I mean, some people are for it, of course. That's why it's happening. Some people can be against it, but you should know what's happening. And the people.
Some people are for the massive, the white genocide browning of America. That's the point he's trying to make. That's what he thinks you're for.
Who live, within 50 miles.
Come on out from under the trailer. This can't be better than life in Guatemala.
To the border have had their lives completely transformed and destroyed in a lot of cases because of it. There are victims of this. It's not a victim.
Look at that guy. Clearly
at all.
Clearly MS-13. I have a question, and this probably already going to be answered in the actual segment. I apologize if I doubled myself. But first of all,
in a lot of cases because of it. There are victims.
Does everybody in MS-13 look like they know more about picking kale than the buyer at Whole Foods? And secondly, did you throw in this black frame just to remind us all how scary black is? Sorry, it doesn't look good when they run out of footage on your new show when your own network is helping you promote it.
Crime at all, and we felt duty bound to show what it looks like. And
Yes, you are always bound for duty.
What do they think of it? Like, let's say you live in Uvalde, Texas. What is your life like? Can your kids go to school? Answer, no, because the border's open. And for some reason, no one is telling the story. I must have seen 15 stories about people who didn't get the vaccine and they're sick and they deserve it. I mean, that's like the lead of every website in the world right now. Okay, but maybe there are other people.
But maybe this guy hiding under a trailer who's been arrested, detained, and will be deported is less of a story than super spreader events in multiple red states that are killing people who watch Fox News primarily.
People suffering, and maybe we should tell their story. So we did, and that's what this is about.
Katie, we'll take it around the table here.
Hey, Tucker, congrats on this new special. I think it's a really important topic.
It's so important. It's so important. I left the other T out of important.
It's
important.
The other part of this is the vice president who has been tasked and put out these talking points, which we've been seeing for 30 years on this issue. And yesterday, the State Department.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it feel like Kamala Harris has been vice president for like 30 years? Oh my God, it's like forever.
Announced that they're actually cutting off ties to the Attorney General's office in Guatemala because of a lack of cooperation on corruption issues. So how do people there feel about the way that Washington is?
Well, yeah, it's true. And the Guatemalan ruling class are not as involved in corruption with the U.S. government as they were, say, when Trump was president. For some reason, they had a lot of things in common in terms of corruption.
Ignoring this issue and just putting out talking points.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm as patriotic, I think, as anybody. But it's not Guatemala's.
No, you're not. You're not.
Fault. It's not El Salvador's fault. It's not right. It's not Honduras' fault, and it's not even Mexico's fault. It's our fault. We do two things. One, we provide a massive incentive to people to come here by
being a better country and richer and safer.
The most generous welfare benefits in the world to the.
Yeah, except you don't get them if you're deported. We also deport people at a higher clip than all of our South American neighbors.
People who come illegally, and two, by opening the borders and summoning them. So to whip around.
Which we did not do. No one opened the borders and summoned them. As a matter of fact, the Biden administration has said, don't come in English and Spanish. Harris went to the actual countries before she went to the border to tell them, don't come, don't make the trek.
And blame climate change or the government.
Yes, 30 years of Kamala rule in the Parliament Funkadelic Army. I feel like I want to stand in front of those tanks in Watchman Square. I don't know what it
of Honduras or corruption, as if we can fix that. I mean, imagine the hubris required to say, okay, all.
Well, no, we're not fixing their thing. We're just not providing them with we're not expecting them to facilitate a solution to the problem by funding them to do that. It's the same thing about the traffic lights. Biden was talking about all the South American countries going, we have a crime problem, and that's why the people come up. And we need more traffic lights, so give us some money and we'll put up traffic lights. And Biden was like, how about we come down there and put up some traffic lights for you? How about that? We're not just going to give you fucking money. We'll come, if that's the problem you have, we'll send some folks down. Army Corps of Engineers and some American NGOs and federal workers. We'll come down there and we'll install some traffic lights. Actually, we don't need traffic lights. All right, well then, you were bullshitting us. You were just going to skim the money.
What we need to do is change 300 years of custom in a country whose language we don't speak, and we'll have it fixed. I mean,
Yeah. They're corrupt because of 300 years of how they live. It's not like they live now in 2021. All of these countries are basically living like it's the 1700s.
Really are a moron if you say something like that. I mean, honest.
I know it's Tiananmen Square. I was trying to come up with another variation that fit the Parliament Funkadelic Army, and never mind.
No, it's our fault. It's our welfare benefits and our open border. It's that simple.
Geraldo.
We don't have an open border, and our welfare benefits only go to people who actually get the asylum and actually get to stay, and most people get turned away en masse.
Hey, Tuck, it's a subject near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I am glad that you didn't lead with the migrants bringing COVID in, as too many reports that I've seen in recent days do, because those overblown health fears are the xenophobic reaction to immigrants since the Irish in the 19th century. The Irish in the 19th century. The Chinese in the 1880s, the Italians in the turn of the century, the Jews from Eastern Europe.
Now I like Geraldo again just because he made Tucker Carlson throw up in his own mouth, which is weird, because I was going to make a really untoward swallowing joke. I'm going to back away slowly.
They were all bringing smallpox. They were all bringing tuberculosis.
Geraldo, we live in a country where we are being forced to take a vaccine that some people, newsflash, don't want to take.
Hi, asshole. No one is being forced to take a vaccine. Even federal workers there's a mandate for federal workers to get vaccinated. Quit. Go work in the private sector. Healthcare workers in a hospital, you're not being forced. You just have to do it if you want to keep working here. That's not force. Force would be darts from drones giving it to people as they were herding across the plain states trying to escape government drone strikes of vaccination, or gathering people up like The Walking Dead or something. It's bullshit. No one's being forced. No one.
That Americans can be arrested for not wearing a mask because COVID is so serious, but...
No, you will be arrested if you don't wear a mask in the Capitol building and you refuse to leave. Because it's a form of trespassing. That's why. No one's being arrested for not wearing a mask. They're being arrested if they don't want to wear a mask and they're trespassing in a private business or on private property, specifically where they're not wearing a mask, where that person there wants them to.
Foreign nationals break our laws carrying COVID and somehow they're exempt from the requirements that we live under? That's not xenophobic.
They're not. They're caught. They're kept in COVID isolation. If they test positive, they're given masks. They're not. They're like, oh, wait, I'm sorry. How'd you get in the country? Oh, you snuck across the border. Yeah. You can. Yeah, I mean, you can go into any mall you want not wearing a mask. Yeah, no. When I saw you come in here, everybody else was wearing a mask, and then you came in, you weren't wearing a mask, and I was like, oh my God, this person is either vaccinated or violating policy. And then I found out you were illegally here, and I was like, oh no, you can go anywhere. Go, please.
Phobia, that's equal application of the law, and it's not happening now. And it's an appalling double standard that every American, including you, should be mad about.
Well, I'm mad about exaggeration and hype.
It's a policy.
Yes, I mean, you're talking to a dude who they just ran an ad for his show that looked like 2012 to 2021.
They are not forcing. Look, if you work in the federal government, you have to get the vaccine. But if you break.
Yeah, but you can leave. You have to get it if you want to stay. If you want to continue to work for the federal government, you don't have to. People resign all the time. People quit. Go get a real fucking job. You don't even think government jobs are real jobs, asshole.
Our laws as an illegal alien, you don't? Why don't you explain why that's a good idea to me?
Well,
Well, no one's forcing them to get a vaccine or offering it to them, though.
I don't think the segment's about me. I would be glad to, but I think I would rather refer it to let Jesse be the subject now.
Okay.
And Greg's going to ask you about fishing.
Geraldo, this is what we've been, Tucker, this is what we've been dealing with all week with Geraldo. So my apologies on the shows.
I love Geraldo.
We love him too, but sometimes he needs a little tough love.
But he's not like us. Have you heard the proper pronunciation of his name? Ew. Am I right?
I caught last night some of the clip that you promoted, and one of these homeowners,
That's a rousing endorsement of Tucker's work on the channel. I caught some of the trailer.
Was packing heat. And she never did that before. It was the first time she had to do this because she said cartels were operating on our side of the border. And tell me what you thought about that comment.
Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
True.
You know, I grew up right near Mexico. I really like Mexico, and I like people who live in Mexico.
Yeah, you love Ted Cruz, for example. Why isn't he on the panel?
But there's a...
I mean, it's a great place to go while your constituents are freezing to death.
War going on in Mexico, which we never even acknowledge. People who live near it are very aware of it, but there's literally a war. I mean, not long ago, the Mexican military backed down in the face of the cartels because the cartels were better armed. So that's the context here. True. And we ignore that. It's not just, you know, these are not people just searching for a better life. These are refugees from a war zone, and that has massive...
That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, thank you very much, Kim. These are refugees from a war zone. People who are trying to escape being killed in a drug war. So what there's something they could, if they're in that situation, there's something they could claim that would allow them to stay in the United States. It starts with it's something, if I look at your face, maybe I can remember what the word is. It starts with ass. I look at your face and I think ass. Asylum, that's what it is. Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks
for us. As to the fact people down there are armed, yeah. And it really should make all of us wonder, why would the federal government try to be disarming us, which they are trying to do?
No, they're not. None of these people are in danger of being disarmed.
Exactly the moment when they're increasing the threat to us, as they are also doing. Like, what is that?
I don't know. Here's what I would say is, you live in New York, and you are a millionaire.
I like wood.
Just, for the record.
I'd love to know what that's about.
Last question from Greg.
Yeah, ask him another question so he can furrow his brow more.
Tucker, good to see you on the 5, even though you said you couldn't do my show, but that's okay.
It's not that he can't, Greg. It's just that there's nothing in it for him. I mean, if he wants shitty ratings, he can do his own show.
Was doing this show, man.
That's not enough.
See?
I thought we were friends. All right, so I want to...
Yeah, that is a laugh line. No one at Fox are friends. Even the Fox and Friends aren't friends. Moment of seriousness. I have never, and I've been to that network's building. I mean, it's been a few years, but all those people were there. I have never been in a place where the people who work there had as much disdain for each other and genuine hatred for their coworkers and people who are equally as shitty as that person. It's not like, of course, everyone at Fox is going to hate Sean Hannity. He's awful. Same with Bill O'Reilly. Dude paid fucking $32 million to hide a ongoing rape charge. That obviously you're going to hate that guy. But Bill O'Reilly hated other people there on an equal level.
Talk about this.
And he wasn't wrong. Like they were all like they just can't fucking stand each other. I'm dead serious. None of these assholes hang out. None of them. Thank you, Carl.
Some guy got in your face at some fishing store in Montana. Fishing store.
Yeah, can you think of something more beta than that? Fishing. Why couldn't you be in an ammo store? So disgusting. I mean, you're on the butchest network ever, bruh, and you're buying bait?
I like wood.
It's no excuse. It's just no excuse.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, we call it a flesh up.
Flesh up, thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that actually, I gotta say, it makes sense that he was in a fly shop.
Deeper and longer. I like wood.
Yeah, okay, so, sorry, fly shop.
I find it very frustrating that adult men are now becoming like mean girls. Like, he could have come up to you and...
Dude, Greg, that's your whole fucking show. Miserable sniping. That literally is it. This show could be called Mean Girls. They basically are. Thank you, guys.
Actually expressed
I'm good
himself.
for a couple seconds.
And you could have had a conversation.
I think I have enough time to finish this bit, I think, and I'll be good.
But he couldn't do that without somebody filming it, because he knew that if he had that someone to film it, that would impact your response.
Yeah, he had better production values than Tucker Carlson originals, let's just say.
Which, as a wise person in the media, you know that. Now you just look and you just go.
Whoa. Okay, citation needed, but...
Hey, see you later. I'm wondering what you would have done if the person wasn't filming it, because...
Oh, bro, dude. If somebody wasn't filming it, bam! He'd have just... He would have, called somebody or pretended to take a call, whoom. Like, that dude wouldn't have known what didn't hit him.
Might have had a conversation.
Hassling me in front of one of my kids? I mean, I had some dark thoughts, which I'm not going to articulate here. I will say...
I don't know that guy would be afraid of you sexually assaulting him, Tucker.
The bigger, leaving me totally out of it, the bigger problem is that the mountain states have been completely invaded by the people who destroyed California. And what's so interesting...
Yeah, you mean the people with money?
Is they're the exact same people who lecture you day and night about diversity, and it's so important, and you're a racist, and et cetera, et cetera. And then they run to Montana with the same attitude. They literally run from the hills away from diversity, and they...
Towards more land.
Hills greatly suffer when they do that. I'll leave it there.
Why don't you whack them?
The hills greatly suffer when they're sick with Tucker.
That's a Tucker style. All right. Tucker Carlson, thanks. Congrats on the special. We'll definitely take a look at it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try and watch part, if not all, of the trailer for it, Tucker. No one on the 5 is going to watch that. Nobody. They're not going to have a watch party. and go, hey, congrats on your new show, and they're not going to watch it. I'm just calling it right now. None of these fuckers are going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. They're not going to watch it. Like, and I could at least make comedy out of it, so there's a value to me possibly watching it, although it's funnier if, we do it raw and you guys see it for the first time. Sorry, I didn't mean do it raw. Sounds really weird.
I like wood.
But in case, for the record, none of the 5 can stand him, and he can't stand any of the 5. They don't hang out. They have nothing but disdain for each other. And none of them are going to watch his show. And he doesn't watch Greg's show because he thinks it's below him. And Greg knows his show is below Tucker, and he's angry about it. And Greg can't even have his own show anymore. They have to stack him with 5 other people so that they can just keep people watching. And I know it's, it's got to be tough, Greg, because not everybody can have a show where it's literally just them by themselves, interviewing no one, and playing clips and making jokes and being well informed about stuff. It's very difficult. This is heavy lifting, Greg. No one's going to shame you for not being able to do what I do. You can't do it. Tucker can't do it. Tucker has to have Jimmy Dore on just to look less stupid for a couple of seconds on his own show. That's work. Would I join the 5 if I was asked? No. I would be a guest on it just to fuck with them, but I would never join the show. No. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just, that's embarrassing.
So much for having me. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Hey, Sean, stop saying hey. All right, I gotta go. I got a dinner date. We gotta go do some stuff. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it. It's really fun hanging out with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Think about becoming a patron if you want. We're trying to reach that 1,000 number that puts me in the same area as people who watercolor for a living on Patreon. Patreon.com/HalSparks. Or you can super chat and do that kind of stuff. And if you're watching this later, all of that still works. You can still, Venmo and do stuff. Someday I'll remember that it's over my left shoulder. Starting today, I'm going to remember that it's over there. I've moved it around a few times so I can be forgiven, but it's there. It's right there. And the networks that I'm on don't get a piece of it, so they don't shave off 30 to 40% of it. So it's there. If not, and again, if you can't afford to help, or you can't afford to become a patron, or it's too much, or a reach, or it makes you nervous at all, don't bother. Just watch and enjoy yourself. We appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough just for gathering with us here and having a laugh. And man, I think we all, hold on. I think we all need a to give. Let's see. I know I have something in here. No, do I? I should have something in here. No, I don't. Hold on one second. This is so annoying. I know I'm always saying this is my Midwestern goodbye thing. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go. Just for the record, I'm just gonna Oh, I see. That's not in there. Is it? Yes, it is. Why is this not happening? Oh, right. I'm so silly. I have to go to the comms thing or whatever. I think I deserve, quite frankly, a round of... This is so clunky. This is so lame. All right. I think we all should give Marjorie Taylor Greene a round of applause for just being so shitty. Just really great. I mean, the literally the winner of the How Dumb This Dumb award today goes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I think it's important that Matt Gaetz not be the only person to give her the clap. I just Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow for radio, bright and early. Don't forget the House Parks radio program, Megaworldwide, is on WCPT Radio in Chicago, but it's also live streaming here as well. So thank you for being with me. And I will see you guys. Does double hitting that do that? No, it doesn't. I have to have a transition button. I'm just already talking my way through buttons I need to add to my setup. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Also, Johnny Million's birthday was yesterday. So tomorrow we're all going to wish him a happy birthday on the show and all that kind of stuff. So just letting you know that. And so be prepared to fill the chat with Johnny Million love. Just saying. Okay.